You belong on every ground your feet grace, so don't ever feel out of place. Take up space and belong. This earth is your birthplace. So, to continue my 7 days of Christmas movie review challenge, I'm gonna go with my fourth movie, which is Someday at Christmas, um, and it's on Tubi. So first it starts off with her Chance's train getting canceled, and she calls her boyfriend to tell him that the train got canceled and that she would be there for another night and that she would have to see him the next day. So he tells her, it's fine, I'll be there to pick you up from the station, or whatever. And so after she gets off the phone with him, you see him with his side chick was in the car with him while he talking to her, talk about I guess Christmas is coming early. And he like, I guess so. And I'm like, ew. So she goes to this bar, restaurant or something, and she ends up getting her tables mixed up with this guy who is Jonathan. They're going back and forth about how it's their table, and he was like, well, the host told me to sit at this table. And he was like, yeah, because you have to see them before you sit at a table. You can't just walk in and sit on at the table. And so like he got her where he want her because he's right. Like you can't just walk up and be like, "Oh, this is my table," in a place that has to seat you. But he invites her to sit with him. They get to know each other a little bit. After she agrees, they get to know each other. They're having, I ain't gonna say a little bit because they were having deep conversations or whatever. Of course, you don't hear it, but it was for a long time. If it was just surface level, you could tell. Um, he insists that they don't talk about their careers and he wants to talk about something else. So this right here also leaves room for like mystery. So you know his name, you don't know his last name, you don't know what he does for a living. So the only thing you know is his first name and the things that he's willing to let you know. So it leaves a little mystery there. So that leaves room in your mind to fill in the blanks, and like y'all know how us women like to imagine things and you filling in the blanks and stuff like that. Um, and making him into this man that he probably ain't. Okay. Um, they continue. He suggests that they go sightseeing, like they walk around. I think they were in I can't remember. DC? Yeah. I think they were in DC, and so he tells them, let's go sightseeing, and she agrees or whatever after a little convincing. So they go to the arcade, they start playing games with each other, they're having fun, they're connecting really quickly. And then when they leave the arcade, he suggests that they go to the art gallery. He said he walked by it earlier and he wanted to go and check it out or whatever. So they go inside. She admires the artist paintings and stuff, and the artist insists that he sketched the two of them. So they sit down and they get sketched. The artist is like talking to them and asking them. He asked them how long they've been together, and they are like, "Oh, we're not together. We just met each other today." And he's like, "Really? Y'all got great chemistry. Y'all look good together, and y'all got great chemistry." And he whispered to her and he was like, you were supposed to just go with it. Like, you ain't supposed to say, no, I don't know him, whatever, whatever. And she like, well, I'm telling the truth. I don't know you. But the painting turns out really beautiful. They really love it. Um, After they leave the gallery, they go to listen to the Christmas carolers and like look at the lighting of the Christmas tree. She ends up going over to sing Christmas carols with the other carolers. I think that's what you call them on them. Um, And after that, she thanks him, and she thanks him for a good day, and he tells her to, like, oh, we can't end this day yet. You got to make a wish. And she like, a wish, and he like, yeah, on a Christmas star. So she closes her eyes and make a wish, and then after she's done, she tells him that he has to make a wish, so he does, and they end up kissing each other. It gets really awkward for a little while, but then they bring it back, bring things back. He tells her that he had fun. He asks to see her before she leaves, and she agrees, and she gives him her number. And then she ends up leaving, but she ends up leaving her scarf with him. So first he tried to call her, but she didn't hear. So he ends up keeping the scarf. Um, while he's walking back to his hotel, somebody bumps into him and makes his phone fall into the sewer. So now he don't got his phone to call her. Um, so he tries to like get the data from his phone, like the stuff from his phone, so he could have her number, but he didn't back it up, so it's not in there. He was calling around. He was trying to figure out like where she was at and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, why wouldn't he just go to the restaurant that they were at to meet up with her? Not that they were at the restaurant that they said that they wanted to meet at to meet up with her. I was confused. I'm like, why wouldn't he just go to the restaurant? But that's how it happened. So she's sitting in the restaurant waiting for him, and he never shows up. So she leaves. When they get back home, this is when he's talking to his friend about Chance, when Lauren, this girl that he was dating, shows up. She wants him to be her boyfriend for a lot of superficial reasons. Turns out that he's running for office, like he's in politics. He's running for office. I can't remember exactly what it was that he was running for. I think mayor, if I'm not mistaken. And she comes up with this proposal like, if you and I are together, my dad can help you with your campaign and all of this stuff. And she's just trying to convince him to be her girlfriend. And he ends up caving into it. And that scene goes off with the two of them seeming like they had sex. So Chance also gets back to her life and her no good boyfriend. She gets mad at him because he didn't show up on time to pick her up, and she was sitting outside in the cold waiting for him, or whatever. And he begs her for an opportunity to show her that he changed. And it's like, you didn't change though, because you was still late to pick me up. What were you doing? And his phone went off, and she asked him like, who is that? She like, oh, that's just Nana. She's just checking up on me, whatever. And she kind of just lets it go because it's like, whatever. But you can tell that she's sad, and Jonathan is also having a hard time with the fact that he can't talk to her. Both of them deal with their disappointment in different ways. So they try to like get through it by focusing on their relationship with these other people, even though they don't really like these people. When Jonathan is in the office and he's talking about having a bad day, his friend was telling him about this video he saw of this lady interviewing this guy, and the guy girlfriend showing up to confront him about cheating. He shows him the video, and he sees that it's Chance, and he's like, this is her, like, this is the girl that I was talking to you about. And he was asking him, like, should I reach out? And he was like, what about Lauren? And he's like, well, what about Lauren? Like, you saying that I shouldn't reach out? And he's like, yeah, I do think you should reach out. And at first I thought the reason why he said that was because he wanted Lauren for himself, but he actually just didn't like her. And didn't want his friend to be with somebody like that. While they're talking, Lauren and her dad pops up. She's trying to strong arm Jonathan into marrying her, and it's really weird. And his friend overhears her on the phone with somebody talking about how much attention she would get, how she would be in the limelight, and all of this stuff if they got married, and he would be the man if she was on his arm, all types of stuff like that. Um, so he puts it in his head, okay, cool, you're trying to strong on my friends and marrying you. I'm about to interfere. So he um decides to interfere. So he finds Chance by figuring out her last name. Her last name is Tyler, and he reaches out. Um, so Chance gets a text about a job opportunity in DC. Saying that they wanted her to be an interviewer to this politic on this show in DC or whatever. Um, Lauren's father suggests to Jonathan that he should marry her so he could help Jonathan with his political career. He's basically trying to bribe him, like, if you marry my daughter, I'll help you. And so Jonathan agrees to do this, even though he don't want the girl. I wasn't understanding why neither one of them, like, why were y'all so, like, willing to be with these people that y'all didn't like? It was confusing to me, but people do that in real life. But anyways, Jonathan's friend tells him about this podcast that wants him as a guest speaker. Like, it's about politics and basically the same thing he texts to Chance, but with Jonathan being a guest and not the interviewer. So Chance and her friends are together for a girls' night, and they're all talking about, like, the dating pool and how hard it is to date and stuff like that. And they're, like, complaining about not being able to find a good man. And Chance is, like, questioning whether Brandon is the one for her, and her friends are trying to convince her, like, yeah, you got you a good man, like, you wouldn't understand what we were going through because you got you a good man. But she like, but what if he isn't the one for me? And they're like, he is the one for you, like, y'all are great together, like, what are you talking about? And so she's like, yeah, maybe y'all are right, but at the same time, she ain't feeling it. Jonathan and his team is celebrating, their I don't know what they're celebrating actually, because the election isn't even over. But I guess they're celebrating for how far they've come and, like, the numbers they've gotten and the success they've had or whatever. And he's thanking his team for the roles they played in him probably winning the election. In the next scene, Lauren tries to convince him to marry her on live TV and on Christmas. And of course, he agrees. I don't know why, but whatever. While he's sleeping, she snoops through his phone and puts this tracker on it so she'll know where he is at all times. And I actually didn't understand why she was doing that, because it wasn't like he was cheating on her or nothing like that. So she had no reason to do that, but she did it. That just goes to show what type of person she is. But even if he was cheating, that's still not a reason. You're not supposed to do stuff like that, even to your spouse. So Chance and Jonathan arrives in DC, and they just so happen to have rooms in the same hotel, and they're right across from each other. They end up bumping into each other and realize they were set up by Steven. Jonathan calls Steven to confront him, and Steven at first pretends not to know what they were talking about. Then he's like, look at it as a coincidence, like, y'all two are together, so y'all might as well catch up or whatever. Chance is upset because she thought she was getting a job opportunity, but Jonathan tries to soothe her pain, and he suggests that they go explore DC. They go to dinner and catch up, and this is where he tells her that he is in politics. And he clears things up with her and tells her why he didn't show up that day and that his phone fell in the sewer. And she was like, why would I believe that? He like, it really is true. That's what happened or whatever. And he told her, you know, he wanted to be there. He wanted to see her. And he was kind of disappointed that he didn't get to. So while they're sitting there talking, he telling her he is willing to risk it all to be with her or whatever. Lauren pops up and tells Chance that she is Jonathan's fiance, and she's flaunting this ring that he didn't even buy her. She bought it for herself. He like, where you get that ring from? And she's like, oh my god, you're so funny. You just bought this. Yeah, I don't know. It was stupid. The way that she was acting and like the way she was popping up on him and stuff, to me didn't really make sense. It was stupid because he didn't seem to feel the way she was trying to make it seem like he feels. And I don't understand why. You know this man don't want you. Why you want to marry him? Just so you could be famous? Stupid. But Chance storms off. She's hurt. She storms off. She feels like Jonathan like lied to her. When she goes back home, Brandon ends up proposing to her and she accepts his proposal. Again, I'm still confused why the two of them were doing this, but they were. I don't know, like if they were just trying to pick up the pieces and move on with their lives because they didn't feel like things were happening for them. So it's like, well, I can't be with the person that I want to be with, so I'm gonna just settle. Like, I was so confused, but at the same time, people do that in real life. Um, Lauren persuades Jonathan to stick to the plan. They go to Chance and Jonathan go back to their lives unhappily. Like they're like showing scenes of them getting ready for their weddings and stuff like that, and they neither of them look happy, but they're still going through with it. So one day, Chance's friend confronts her about her mood. Like you haven't really been happy. You haven't been yourself. Like what's going on with you? And also like throughout the little like scenes of them with their significant other, anytime Brandon tried to be intimate with Chance, she didn't want him to. She would dodge him and like tell him like to back up. She didn't want him to be up on her and stuff. You could just tell that she doesn't want him, but at the same time, she's going through with getting married to him. It just didn't make sense to me. At what point are you gonna realize it takes another man for you to realize that you don't like the one that you're with? It was just weird, but whatever. Um and you know, she tries to make it seem like she's okay. And then her friend is like sitting down looking in this magazine, and she ends up seeing Lauren and Jonathan's like engagement in the magazine, and they did an interview and everything. She tried to hide it from Chance, but Chance realized her acting weird and told her to let her see it. She opens it and she sees it, and she's like, I mean, it is what it is. If they're getting married, I hope that, you know, they have a happy marriage. And she tries to make it seem like it doesn't bother her. Stephen confronts Jonathan about selling his soul to win the election. He tells him, like, you don't even like these people, you don't like this girl, but you're willing to go through with this just to win an election. Like, this isn't just you not being yourself, but this is you selling your soul to win the election. So Chance friend sees Brandon cheating, so she takes a picture of it and shows their other friend, and the other friend makes her promise not to say anything to Chance about Brandon cheating, and that just annoyed me too. Like, why are y'all keeping stuff like this a secret? And they're like, you know, what if we tell her and she doesn't believe us or something? I'm like, y'all literally got proof that he was cheating. Like, what are y'all talking about? It was just stupid to me. They didn't tell him and they just hoped that she found out on her own. Brandon's phone rings and Chance ends up answering it. And it's the side chick telling Chance that she is Brandon's girlfriend and that Chance was stupid to think that she was only a side chick. So Chance confronts Brandon about it, and she breaks up with him because, he cheated or whatever. And then in the next scene, Jonathan and Lauren are getting married, but Jonathan ends up leaving her at the altar and just walking away. And there's this journalist who's there to record the wedding. He interviews Jonathan and asks him, like, why did he leave? And he said because he did not love Lauren and that he loved Chance. And Chance, if you are watching this, I'm sorry for what I did and I love you. And so it kind of like the next scene comes up as a year later, the two of them are sitting in the restaurant that they met in. They're married, they're happy. Chance ended up moving to Atlanta to be with him, and they finally have a Merry Christmas because they were wishing for a Christmas miracle or whatever, and they finally got it. So the ending was pretty good. I will say this movie is pretty good, but I kind of feel like the back and forth was unnecessary. The fact that they were willing to just go through with weddings with people that they didn't love was so weird to me. The fact that Chance believed Brandon every time he said that it was his nana texting him or calling him, and she just didn't question it, was weird to me. The fact that Brandon was just going along with what Lauren and her dad wanted him to do just to win an election. Like, it just was stupid. It was weird to me. And I know, of course, for movies and shows, there has to be a little bit of drama, but it could have just been different stuff. Like, why did it have to be that? But like I said, things like that happen in real life. Some people will fumble a person and they will settle for somebody else because they fumbled. But yeah, all in all, I think it was a pretty good movie. I do feel like uh if you like Christmas, it wasn't even really Christmassy. Like, of course, the setting was around that time, and of course, the two of them wanted like a miracle to happen for Christmas, which was to be with each other. I mean, they had to wait a year later for that to happen, but at least they got what they wanted. But it wasn't too focused on Christmas. And I like Christmas movies that are not too focused on Christmas. Well, I don't like Christmas movies at all, but like if I'm gonna watch one that's not too focused on Christmas is what I want to see. But it was decent. I do feel like it's worth the watch if you want to. If you don't, then you don't have to. Um I'm not here to convince y'all to watch or not watch. I'm just here to give y'all a review and to let y'all know, if it's worth checking out. And I do feel like it's worth checking out. But even if I didn't like it, I would still tell y'all to check it out. But let me know what y'all think about this review and this movie. If y'all have seen it, let me know what y'all thought about it. Like, when it comes to like the back and forth and the things that happen, do y'all agree that y'all feel like that stuff just didn't make sense to y'all, or did it make sense? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what y'all think about this review. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye! Before you go, check out my website at srgraham.org and subscribe to my mailing list to get exclusive updates on works in progress, other news, and blog posts. Thank you.